Missile strikes believed to have been launched by Iran have once again struck parts of central Israel, leaving behind visible destruction in residential neighborhoods and intensifying fears about the expanding war between the two countries. The latest barrage triggered air raid sirens across several cities, including areas around Tel Aviv, forcing residents to rush into shelters as emergency alerts sounded across the region. Israeli rescue services later confirmed that at least 2 impact sites had been recorded following the attack. Footage circulating from the affected areas showed damage to houses, shattered windows, and debris scattered across streets after what officials suspect may have been a cluster-type missile strike. Emergency responders were deployed to investigate the blast sites and determine whether the missiles used cluster munitions, which dispersed multiple smaller explosives over a wide area. Such weapons are widely criticized because they can leave unexploded bomblets that remain dangerous long after the initial explosion. The attacks occurred amid a broader escalation in the ongoing Iran-Israel war that began after coordinated Israeli and United States strikes against Iranian targets on February 28, 2026, under an operation known as Lion's Roar. That operation targeted multiple Iranian facilities and triggered retaliatory missile and drone attacks from Iran across the region. In the latest round of hostilities, several explosions were reported in central Israel after missiles struck residential areas. Israeli authorities said 2 impacts had been confirmed during the most recent suspected cluster bomb attack, although no injuries were immediately reported in that particular incident. Emergency teams were dispatched to inspect damaged buildings and search for any unexploded ordnance. Air raid sirens continued to sound across the Tel Aviv area as Israel's missile warning systems detected incoming projectiles. Residents rushed into shelters while defense systems attempted to intercept the missiles before they reached populated areas. The footage from the latest strike showed the aftermath of the attack on a residential property believed to have been hit by fragments or submunitions. While the damage was largely structural in this instance, officials warned that previous attacks had resulted in injuries and deaths. Cluster munitions have become a central concern during the war. These weapons release dozens of smaller explosives across a wide area, increasing the risk to civilians. Analysts note that when such weapons are used over urban environments, the bomblets can scatter across neighborhoods, turning streets and yards into hazardous zones until they are cleared. According to reports and Israeli military assessments, roughly half of the missiles fired by Iran during the conflict have carried cluster-type warheads. Earlier in the war, several people were killed and injured when submunitions from an Iranian missile struck a construction site near Tel Aviv. 2 workers were killed in that incident after fragments from the cluster warhead landed in multiple locations across central Israel. The latest barrage was also part of Iran's continuing military campaign known as Operation True Promise 4, which Tehran describes as its retaliation against Israeli and U.S. strikes on Iranian territory. Iranian officials announced that another wave of attacks had been launched, describing it as the 55th wave of the operation. IRGI statement, the 55th wave of Operation True Promise 4, so-named Omus bin Jaffa, dedicated to the exalted martyr Mohammed Ibrahim Hamad and the martyrs of the Mayun Islands and Tala, were successfully carried out against targets in the heart of the occupied territories Tel Aviv and Ben Gurion, including aerospace military production centers and aerial refueling support centers using high-precision and super-heavy hypersonic FAT or EMAD and Garter missiles as well as attack drones. Iran also claimed that its strikes extended beyond Israel to include U.S. military installations in the region. IRGI's statement additionally, centers of the terrorist U.S. Army located at Al-Afra Air Base, Jafar Naval Base, and Shikisa Air Base were successfully targeted using medium-range solid-fuel, precision-guided Fatah, Zulaha, and Dassault missiles, along with smart and attack drones. The statement was part of a broader message from Iranian authorities defending their military actions and accusing their adversaries of spreading misinformation about attacks in the region. Iranian statement, attention to all neighboring countries and the Muslim people of the region. The defeated enemy in the military battlefield and in political coalition against Iran has resorted to trickery and deceit, and with a diabolical plot has copied the Iranian Shahid 136 drone, and under a new name, the Lucas drone attacks unjustified targets in regional countries. Iran alleged that replica versions of its Shahed-type drones were being used in operations designed to blame Tehran and damage its relations with neighboring states. Iranian statement: the enemy's goal is to foster pessimism and level accusations against the Islamic Republic of Iran. According to Tehran, the purpose of these alleged false flag attacks is to undermine the legitimacy of Iran's military operations. Iranian statement: the ultimate aim is to create discord between Iran and its neighbors, thereby undermining the legitimate and legal defensive actions of Iran's armed forces. Iranian officials insisted that their military operations target only the United States and Israel. Iranian statement: the Islamic Republic of Iran, as it is repeatedly announced, only targets the centers and interests of the United States and the Zionist regime. They also emphasized that Iran publicly acknowledges responsibility for attacks carried out by its forces. Iranian statement: and wherever it targets, it takes responsibility for it in an official announcement and will be accountable for its consequences. Tehran further accused its adversaries of attempting to blame Iran for attacks in neighboring countries such as Turkey, Kuwait, and Iraq. Iranian statement: examples of these enemy tricks are the malicious attacks on centers in neighboring and friendly countries such as Turkey, Kuwait, and Iraq in recent days, and the attribution of it to the Islamic Republic of Iran's armed forces. The statement concluded with a call for regional unity against what it described as external manipulation. Iranian statement: being deceived by Satan and his divisive positions will only encourage him to spread it. Meanwhile, new concerns have emerged about Israel's ability to maintain its missile defense operations during the prolonged conflict. Reports citing U.S. officials say Israel has informed Washington that its supply of ballistic missile interceptors is running critically low after weeks of sustained missile attacks. Israel's air defense network, which includes systems designed to intercept short, medium, and long-range missiles, has been heavily engaged since the war began. Repeated missile barrages from Iran have forced Israeli forces to launch interceptors at a rapid pace. A U.S. official familiar with the situation said the strain on Israel's interceptor stockpile had been anticipated. U.S. official: it's something we expected and anticipated. The official added that the United States itself still has sufficient defensive resources available in the region and is not facing the same shortage. U.S. official: we have all that we need to protect our bases and our personnel in the region and our interests. The growing pressure on Israel's defense systems has been compounded by the evolving tactics used in the missile attacks. Analysts say the inclusion of cluster warheads on some missiles could increase the number of interceptors required to neutralize incoming threats. At the same time, the war has expanded beyond Israel and Iran, affecting multiple countries across the Middle East. Iran has launched hundreds of missiles and drones not only toward Israel, but also toward other regional targets, including attacks reported in the United Arab Emirates. Those strikes have caused casualties and property damage in several cities. The conflict has also triggered additional military operations by the United States and Israel against Iranian facilities. One major example occurred on March 13, 2026, when the United States carried out a large airstrike on Karg Island, a strategic oil export hub in the Persian Gulf. The attack reportedly targeted dozens of Iranian military installations while avoiding key energy infrastructure. Across the region, the situation continues to deteriorate as missile exchanges, drone strikes, and air raids intensify. Civilians in multiple countries have been affected by the escalating violence, with casualties reported in Israel, Iran, Lebanon, and elsewhere. International observers warn that the prolonged exchange of missile attacks could push the region toward an even wider war if diplomatic efforts fail to contain the conflict. Despite calls for de-escalation from global leaders, both Iran and Israel have signaled their intention to continue military operations. Iran maintains that its attacks are legitimate retaliation for earlier strikes on its territory, while Israel has vowed to keep targeting Iranian military infrastructure. As the war enters another dangerous phase, the latest missile impacts in central Israel serve as a stark reminder of how quickly the conflict is spreading and how uncertain its outcome remains.